Okay. I um I wanted to talk about breathing life into our children. Um, my children have friends, and they have a lot of questions about like our type of relationship. I'm not saying that they don't like their parents, but um, they just see a big difference in the relationship that my daughter and I have versus the relationship that they have with their parent. And, just like how life evolved, technology has evolved, um, the way we parent our children has to evolve as well. I grew up in an authoritative household. You just do as your parents say, no questions, no thought. And what happens is I grew up and I kind of stayed that way because you kind of groom them that way. If you don't teach the child to have an opinion or to have a thought, then they go out in the world and they don't have opinions and they don't have thoughts. They kind of go through life trying to please everybody else because that's all they know how to do. You know, if they were only doing what they're told and their next placement is marriage, then they're going to just do what they're told because that's how they were raised to do. You didn't raise a self thinker, you just raised a doer. Just do as I say. And you have to be careful about that. Um, I when I had my children, that was something I was more mindful of because I saw that in me. I saw it how living under an authoritative household made me set me up to be in authoritative relationships, and I didn't want that for my kids. So from an early age, I always let them have their voice. I'm still the parent. I maintain my respect, but I do give them a voice because they have to learn how to talk to people and how to negotiate what it is that they're seeking to manifest into their own lives. And that is a great asset and a great tool that helps them lifelong because they're going to have to learn those tools to get a job, um, to be in relationships. They're going to have to learn negotiations to get what it is they want. If they're just only being taught to be authoritative or be submissive, then that's going to create problems because after a while, submissive person isn't going to always want to be talked down to all the time, and that's going to cause conflict. But if both parties are being taught negotiation, the skill of negotiation, the skill of conversation, you know, um, that can help them, in a lot of other aspects when they grow up. And so that's been that's the role that I took um, with my kids. A lot of people in my family, they didn't agree with it. I ain't gonna lie. They said that they feel that um, our relationship is more like a friendship, and I don't understand why. Well, I do understand why. Because they feel that I should just dictate instead of having conversations about, what it is I'm expecting, why I am expecting this, and we talk it out. You know, so for them it feels more like a friendship, but for me, what I see is they have their own voice and they have their own mind, and they're stronger emotionally. They're not rattled, by the nose, and they're not rattled by going through the difficult stuff. They're able to troop, through a lot of stuff. And if they're having those bad days, they call and they ask, for some guidance. And a lot of kids they don't really do that. They don't call and ask for guidance or what should I do or can you help me navigate through this? What are other ways that I can, you know, negotiate or talk, like if they're having an issue with their grade or, not being able to communicate effectively with their professor or their teachers or, their spouse. They they don't ask me to fix anything. They ask for other ways to be able to communicate what it is they're trying to, get through. So I um I think that a lot of parents, um, started young, if you can, but there's never a age that's too late because I didn't learn. I wasn't good at it when I was younger. I made a lot of mistakes along the way with my older children. But I think I'm a little bit closer to where I want to be at with my youngest. And I'm still growing because, I teach those to my grandchildren. And my kids is teaching, they go through their with their children the same way I went through with mine. They have conversations with them, and they talk with them, and they negotiate with them. And it works. It works better than yelling and beating, and having all of that negative energy. That's why they always say, you can catch more flies with honey than with vinegar. It's the same way. When you're yelling and screaming at people, after a while, we turn off. We learn, just like when parents have kids and you be wondering how can they go through their life and not go crazy with all that noise in the house because they've learned to tune it out. Same way in relationships. If you're always yelling and screaming at each other when you're angry or when you're not in agreement, people, we learn to cut it out, to let it go, to not hear it anymore. And when a person is like that, there is no you're not able to move forward in that relationship, and that doesn't help. That doesn't help at all. So you need to grab as many tools as you can. Get some good books. I've read a lot of good books on a lot of different matters. I took myself to school for nothing. I don't think at this age, I don't think I'm going to actually go and get another job. I don't think. I think I'm just going to be working for myself for now. Um, but I took it just so that I can learn skills, understand the psychiatry and the psychology and stuff like that, the way we think. And that's just how I chose to go about doing it. But there's a lot of great books out here that'll teach communication skills and learning how to quiet, how to speak on a quieter note, than just yelling and screaming and barking at people to get what it is you want. It works a lot better. You get it's better results instead of you know, exuding a negative energy, because it's all you're gonna get is negative energy back. So, we have to remember that positive energy brings positive response. Negative energy brings negative response. And even when you're giving positive energy and that person is giving you back negative energy, continue the positive energy. I've tried this so many times. When people call and they want to argue with me, and I won't, and the louder they argue, the softer I talk. And then I notice that they stop hollering and they start talking. And then by the end, they're just so calm. And now we're both calm and we're talking and we're seeing eye to eye, and then we hang up on a good note. And then I laugh because I'd be like, I didn't have those kind of skills, not even 10 years ago. And it's amazing how, you can control the situation if you have the tools to do it. And that's what that's all I wanted to talk about today. I don't want to make it too long, but I think that a lot of people will get a lot of benefit, from learning how to communicate effectively in a positive note, even in parenting, relationships, negotiation, work, atmosphere, everything. It's a good tool. So. Um, I'd like to know how you all feel about that. So feel free to comment, like, subscribe, share. I would greatly appreciate it. And I look forward to talking with you guys again. Bye.